A very good morning to one and all. I am Sitara.
And I am Nagavarshini.
Today, we all have gathered here on the auspicious occasion of National Mathematics Day, which is celebrated every year on December 22, to commemorate the birth anniversary of the famous mathematician Sri Srinivasa Ramanujan, who was born in 1887.
In 2012, the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh declared the date as National Mathematics Day to honor the great man, and today we all are here on his 134th birth anniversary.
Now, I request all the dignitaries on the dais to pay a small tribute to Sri Ramanujan by offering flowers as a token of respect.
I now take the opportunity to welcome Principal R.I. Mysore, Professor Y. Shrikant, who is the backbone of our institute, always supporting and guiding the students in every way possible. A hearty welcome to you, sir.
Now, I take the opportunity to welcome Professor G.V. Gopal, Dean of Instruction, RIEM, a diligent personality who has always been a guiding light with his constant presence in all the activities carried out in the institute. A hearty welcome to you, sir.
I am extremely humbled to welcome Professor V.S. Prasad, Head DSM RI Mysore, who is a dynamic and energetic personality and is an infinite source of motivation to many. A hearty welcome to you, sir.
Next, I am glad to welcome Dr. Madhu, Professor in Mathematics and Program Coordinator for this conference, who has been the spirit of this past 3 days, coordinating and organizing the events with utmost sincerity and dedication. We welcome you, sir.
On behalf of Regional Institute of Education, Mysore, I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all the guests and participants attending the program physically as well as virtually on the occasion of National Mathematics Day. I also extend my warm welcome to Professor G.V. Gopal, our coordinator Madhu sir, VSP sir, and our principal. Thank you.
I would now like to invite our principal to share some of his thoughts with us. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. The participants who have joined online, and the students, the faculty, and people from other RIEs and NIE. Professor Mahesh Sharma has joined from US online. I also welcome him. He will be delivering his talk immediately after this. I welcome you, sir. In fact, it's really a very great occasion for us today to celebrate and commemorate the birthday of Ramanujan, who has contributed immensely and who has again brought out the name of our country in the world to picturize how singularly one can contribute in spite of the difficulties that one faces in life. In fact, he was struggling to meet his ends and was passionately after mathematics. With one of the interviews of his wife before she passed away in '94, I was watching, and she was explaining about how, normally people ignore the things, especially those who are passionate about the worldly things, in order to do what they have in mind, what they want to do in life. So she used to say, like, at least I do not know how many of you had the opportunity of having the rice balls made by mother and keeping it in your mouth or giving it in your hand. So when she was giving it in his hand, because he was not able to focus on food due to his health and other things, so he used to forget about it, that there is a rice ball in his hand, and he was simply worried about solving the problems. So this was the level with which he was passionately committed to his objective of realizing something very uniquely. And that's how he became one of the youngest FRS, especially from outside UK. So it shows that if you have passion, you can do anything. In fact, what he has done, researches are being conducted even now in order to explore what is there and how these things can be further elaborated, extended, etc. So it shows that a person can do immensely, and when he passed away at the age of 32, which is nothing, so you can imagine he would have done much more had he been alive, which was not the case for various reasons. And at the same time, he also attributed many of the things not to himself but to the local goddess whom he always worshipped. And also I am told that Hardy, G.H. Hardy, so who was his guiding spirit, was a racialist, did not believe in God, an atheist, but Ramanujan was extremely and deeply religious. In spite of their different ways of thinking, still they came together and have contributed significantly. It also shows that you can pair up with anybody as long as your objective is to realize something which is for the society. So I think there are many things to learn. And finally, before concluding, I just want to say one thing. I had the opportunity to be with another Ramanujan who had addressed this gathering on the very first day in the inaugural session. So he was telling me that, why this person wanted a job. I said, normally people want a job to, live peacefully. No, this was not the case. He wanted to buy paper. Paper was so expensive during those days, especially during World War I. So he wanted to buy paper, and for that he required a job. And many of the things are not available because he used to do it on slate. And so that is how the things have happened. I know, and you all know, that how we crit for small things, but if you want to do something big, you need not worry about the things immediately that may grab your attention. So I think we have many things to learn, especially being in the subject of mathematics. You should also study the life histories of these kinds of people who have ignored their requirements, who have ignored their health, who have ignored everything around in order to contribute to the society. Maybe perhaps that will stay forever. So once again, we respectfully pay tributes to the person who has contributed so much to the mathematics and also in bringing about the name of the country and in the world. So we pray God that wherever his soul is, let it be rest in peace, and also that there will be many more Ramanujams in this country in future who will also contribute immensely. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your enlightening words, sir. A poem begins in delight and ends in wisdom. On account of National Mathematics Day, I invite Mrs. Sadhana Hulyalkar, Head of Department of Elementary Education, VPEM School, Pune, joining us virtually to recite a poem that she has composed on Sri Ramanujan's life.
Thank you so much, madam. Okay, I am going to present my Revi song is composed and tuned in Marathi language. I will be sharing the audio of the same. It's 2 minutes. Kindly allow me. Actually, I am not a singer, but I love to compose mathematics poetry. I am a math teacher, so I just try to sing the ballad. भारतीय गणितज्ञ श्रीनिवास रामानुजन यांच्या जीवनावर आधारित पोवाडा. प्रथम वंदन आर्यभट्टास, प्रथम वंदन आर्यभट्टास वरहवीरास भास्कराचार्यास तोर या गणितीस गाऊ गणितीचे गुणगान जी 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 गाऊ गणितीचे गुणगान जी 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 जी. मित्रांनो, 22 डिसेंबर 2003 22 हा थोर गणितिक रामानुजन यांची हे वर्ष राष्ट्रीय गणित वर्ष म्हणून साजर केले जाते. त्यानिमित्त त्यांच्या जीवनावर आधारित हा पोवाडा सन 1887 च्या डिसेंबर महिन्यात तमिळनाडू राज्यातील इरोड गावी त्यांचा जन्म झाला. पावन झाली जन्मभूमी, पावन झाली जन्मभूमी, तमिळ नाडू क्रांती, गरीब माय बाबा पोटी जन्मला हा ज्ञान ज्योती जी 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 जी. आई वडील गरीब असले तरी त्यांनी रामानुजन उत्तम संस्कार केले. साधी राहणे, उच्च विद्यार्थी हा त्यांचा वसा होता. सुसंस्कारित सद्वर्तन, सुसंस्कारित सद्वर्तन, गणिताचे वेडफार, रथसडा आकडे मोडित, घरी शिक्षकावरी तो माच जी 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 जी. शाळेत असताना वरच्या वर्गातील कठीण उदाहरणे सोडून तो सर्वांना चकित करी, पण याचे लक्ष गणितातच. मग इतर विषयांचे काय? अव्वल गणितात, अव्वल गुणगणितात, उभा पहिल्या नंबरात, दुर्लक्ष इतर विषयात, नापास मॅट्रिक परीक्षेत हो जी 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 जी. मॅट्रिकची परीक्षा नापास झाल्यामुळे पुढील शिक्षणासाठी.
Thank you, ma'am. Now our conference actually really become national because all regional language, Maharashtra, Marathi song was there. Thank you, ma'am. And Mahesh Sharma sir, kindly inviting you to speak a few words about Srinivas Ramanujan. Sir, please, sir.
Sir Hardy and Ramanujan was a pair who have contributed so much to the algebraic number theory and number theory that today one of the major areas of computers is inscription. And so many years ago, he foresaw that there will be need for the characteristics of prime numbers, which will be the means by which inscriptions will take place. His 42 notebooks, each one of them has contributed a field, a branch of mathematics. And there are many more examples there which might span many more branches of mathematics. Ramanujan is one of those sources of mathematical knowledge that many people say. There is a saying that some mathematicians are like small stars, and Ramanujan is one of the sons of mathematical glory. I bow to this great mathematician, and I'm very proud of being an Indian, because when my students ask, do you know anything about Ramanujan? Then I say that I'm so proud to say that he has motivated many Indian students to be interested in mathematics and also beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I would like to call upon Ashfaq, student of RI Mysore, to throw some light on the life of Ramanujan and his achievements. Over to you, Ashfaq.
Before I give a talk about Srinivas Ramanujan, I would like to cite an incident which happened on December 2012 in Emory University in Atlanta. After years of work, mathematician Ken Ono and two of his former students came up with a groundbreaking mathematical formula that will allow us study black holes in an entirely different way. And incredibly, they achieved this feat by studying a single paragraph written by an Indian mathematician, and that mathematician is none other than Srinivas Ramanujan. Srinivas Ramanujan is a man who knew infinity. I think you have all read the book written by Robert Kenigal in the early 1990s. It is probably one of the best science biographies ever written. To tell more about Srinivas Ramanujan, I would like to take you back in a time where the story of Ramanujan began from a historical perspective. We're going back to 1893. Here's a picture of University of Chicago. This is an image of World's Fair which happened during that time. And it's an art of science and technology, a fair where this art of science and technology took place. For us in mathematics, 1893 World's Fair was very important because it was the site of the first International Congress of Mathematicians. But at this first International Congress of Mathematicians in 1893, there was no maths talks by any mathematician, or there was no any exhibition from Indian side. So the story from the time where there was no talk or no exhibition from Indian side to the time till where Ramanujan became the FRS, for the first ever Indian to become the FRS, the story is very motivating and interesting. The story of Ramanujan is about a two-time college dropout. He was so addicted to mathematics that he did not give any time to other subjects apart from mathematics. So he was flunked out of the college, and he did it twice. It was a story of a man whose ideas and formulas, which were recorded in 3 shabby notebooks, surprised the accumulated wisdom of world's greatest mathematician of that time. And tragically, it is also a story of a man who died at very young age of 32, leaving behind these notebooks and leaving us all to wonder what would mathematics be like today if you would have lived for much long time. When in India nobody understood anything about his work, he eventually reached out to the English mathematicians. Some did not respond initially, but later G.H. Hardy responded in a better way. G.H. Hardy is a well-known man. He is also a well-known man for his contribution in genetics, for Hardy-Weinberg law. What Ramanujan did was, he reached out and wrote a letter to Hardy that included many pages of mathematical formulas. You can read, these are the wonderful lines written by Ramanujan to Hardy. The letter goes on and includes many pages of mathematical solves, some formulas, well-known formulas and some quite not right, but the letter ends with unbelievable formulas, the formulas which were later called Rogers-Ramanujan continued fractions. And those results were so shocking that Hardy knew that the author of this letter, who turned out to be Indian clerk, Ramanujan had to be some unnatural genius. And in response, even Hardy wrote the letter to Ramanujan, and you can see this one of beautiful lines. Hardy responded by inviting Ramanujan to Cambridge, and during 5 years in Cambridge, Ramanujan went on to write 30 books, covering an incredible cross-section of all the areas of mathematics, mostly on analytical number theory. But these papers have inspired many different areas that continue to thrive to this day also. Towards the end of his stay in 1919, Ramanujan returned back to India because seeking better food, climate that he was accustomed to, because he had fallen ill towards the last days of his stay in England. Tragically, Ramanujan did not return to health. He died on April 26, 1920, after spending only 1 year with his family. By the way, from his deathbed, he continued to do mind-blowing research work that have still mining today. After going back to his inspirational story of Ramanujan, what I feel is that, as per my opinion, as a teacher, we need to find a talent, we need to nurture it and help it to thrive. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashfaq. for the wonderful presentation. It gave us a deep insight into his brilliant personality. Now we have come to the end of this function. I extend my sincere thanks to our principal, dean, professors, students and other delegatories joining us virtually and physically with us. Now, we will disperse for a short break and I request everyone to join us back at 9:30 for the keynote address. Thank you one and all.